just at the old homestead, actually occupying my sister's room today because my room is still too messy for me to be able to film in. And so yeah, hope you enjoy the video. So this is the first of 2 or 3 videos on my interview at Oxford. This one's going to talk more about my emotions and how there was a really awful timing for me for the interview, and it's just going to tell you a bit about why I came back from my interview feeling a little bit jaded and tired and quite upset actually in a way. And the others will be more about the decision and the academic demands of the actual interviews. So the next video will be on the academic demands. This one will be more about the structure of the interview and how it made me feel, and what you can kind of expect when you go down there. Okay, so to start off with, point number 1. If you haven't seen my videos before, I have an offer from Oxford to study biochemistry at Hertford College. That's the really cool one with the little Bridge of Sighs right outside the Bodleian Library. I know, it's beautiful. And depending on whether I get the grades or not, that is where I will hopefully be going in October. I applied and sent off my UCAS application in about mid-September. I'd done most of the groundwork at the end of year 12, so that in the first kind of 2 weeks of term in September I just kind of cleared it up, sent all of my drafts to loads of different teachers, went over things, brushed it up, and then sent it off as quickly as I could. If you can do it towards the end of year 12, it's really helpful because it's one less thing that you have to stress about this year. So I turned 18 on the 10th of December 2017. So obviously I was going to have a massive celebration, I was going to drink lots, I was going to have fun, but then as we were looking into things, it transpires that not a lot of places want to hold 18th birthday parties, and that even if they do, most of them are booked up closer to Christmas, which kind of meant that it was either I had to do earlier or not have one at all. Anyway, in the end we found a lovely venue, it was just big enough, it was just nice, and the only date that they could do was the 2nd of December, so that was the weekend before my actual birthday. I thought, yeah, okay, let's go for it, let's just do it. So what, it's a week early, people will probably have more things going on close to Christmas anyway, so why not? So I was at my boyfriend's, surprise surprise, and I got an email from Hertford College, and I was super excited and I couldn't wait to open it, and I could just see on the kind of subject of interviews, and I was like, oh my god, and I opened it and it said that they had called me to interview on the 3rd of December. This is obviously a very happy but also slightly tinged with dread and anxiety, because I had no idea that this was the way it was going to turn out. But you know what, I thought, right, I'm going to talk to my head of sixth form about it, because he'll probably just reassure me and say that no, they won't interview you, blah 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 blah. So I went in and I spoke to my head of year, and he said to me, is there no way that you can cancel it? No, I can't. I thought, I'm not going to let it go uncelebrated. I'm just not going to do that. It's my 18th birthday, and I think it would be really unfair on myself to miss out just because Oxford had offered me an interview. On the other hand, it was incredibly important to me, and I knew I didn't want to mess it up. I thought, you know what, they're not going to interview me on a weekend. The lecturers and the helpers are probably not going to have everything organised on a weekend. Again, I was wrong. I got an email, I think about a week before my interview, to say that my 2 interviews would be at Hertford and at Queen's, and that my first interview at Hertford would be at 2 o'clock on the 3rd of December. So there's another tip. If you think that because you have been asked to go down on a Saturday or a Sunday that you will not be interviewed the first time you get there, they will interview you on the same day, depending on numbers and timings, so be prepared for that eventuality. Anyhow, I thought, you know what, it's fine. I'll go to bed at 12, I'll wake up at 7:30, I'll get a nice 7.5 hours sleep, I'll get the train, it'll be much quicker, I'll get down there and I'll be focused and ready. Do you think that was going to happen after an 18th birthday party? No, it wasn't. At about 12:30, I had about 8 friends back to my house, and we were sitting in the living room having a drink, listening to music, etc, etc. And it all of a sudden was 3:30 in the morning, and I think I got to sleep by about 4:15. So I was going on, 4 hours sleep. Well, no, 3 hours sleep. Yeah, 3 hours sleep. Wasn't ideal. Okay, so when I got the train, my boyfriend came with me. I got the train from a local station into the centre of Birmingham, and then one from the centre of Birmingham into Oxford. It was one of the most surreal experiences I think I've ever had, to just say goodbye to my mum and dad and just leave to go and do probably the biggest thing of my life so far. I remember sitting down, getting my personal statement out on the train. I read over a couple of things, I highlighted a few things, tried to think in my head about what would I say if they asked me about this or if they asked me about that, and essentially just tried to console myself with the idea that in a few hours time I was going to be sitting in front of tutors answering academic questions that were going to be very, very taxing. And doing that hungover didn't really fill me with the greatest hope, but it was one of those things where you just have to get on with it, and if, moaning about it was never gonna help me, or, I got a text from my mum about halfway through my train journey, and it was just one of the nicest texts I think I've ever received. It just made me feel like they were so proud of me and so happy for me, and I just burst into tears. I just cried my eyes up. The strange poor man that was sitting next to me, he wasn't strange. He was just minding his own business. I don't know why I said that. I was being strange. The poor man sitting next to a strange girl like me, just crying into my highlighters. And I thought, God, I haven't brought my makeup with me or anything, it's all in my case, so I can't touch my makeup up. For the entirety of the train journey then, I kind of just spent it calming myself down, because I thought I'm not going to have the confidence to go in there, I'm going to be crying all the time, I'm going to, and it just wouldn't have worked. I was like, okay, that's enough now, that's enough. We're here to do a job. Let's get on with it. You've been preparing for ages. Let's just do it. So that's what I did. I got off the train, I got there, I tried to speak to the helpers as calmly as I could, and we sat in the JTR and we were just lounging around, and I think I was the 2nd or the 3rd person to be interviewed. Now at this time the college was quite quiet because not many people had arrived yet for interviews, and biochemistry is actually, well, it was this year, one of the first subjects to be interviewed for. I think there was PPE and English at the same time, I'm not too sure. So it's over the period of 2-3 days. It depends on your course and how long they want to keep you there for. but it is structured in a way that you will spend a few days rather than just one day in interview. So for me, this was 4 days. So I came out of my interview, collected my keys, went back to my room and had a bit of a breather. Now I knew that there were some things going on in the JCR, and actually I don't know what happened to me on that weekend. I think I'd just been really stressed and really really kind of bunged up with everything that was going on. The fact that I had the interviews, the fact that it was my 18th birthday, all the things on the run up. It all got a bit on top of me, and I really wasn't myself, I don't think, while I was down there, which was a shame because I feel like I would have made a lot more friends and had a lot of, you know, a much better experience. To be honest, I hated it. I really hated the process of interview. The only good parts for me were the parts where I was in front of the tutors. Now that is probably the complete opposite for most people, but the social aspect of it for me, I just couldn't do it. I like to talk to people, I like to get to know people. Am I focused? But when I was down there, I honestly, I felt like I had a lot on my plate, and that I didn't really want to speak to other people in case it put me off, in case it kind of, I don't know, made me feel uncomfortable. I tried. There was a few nights where I did kind of venture out. However, I still felt that it was really stilted conversation at the dinner table, and other subjects were getting on like houses on fire. They were like chatting and laughing. Now I'm all for me, because I should have gone and spoke to other people. I should have made more effort with the people I was with. It just, when I was there in that frame of mind, it wasn't for me. I just sat in my room, I ate on my own, I read things, I spoke to my boyfriend a hell of a lot while I was down there. I remember thinking, oh god, like, maybe because I didn't like it, that doesn't mean I didn't get a place. Did I do this right? Did I do that right? And, you know, it's okay if you didn't like it, it's okay if you didn't enjoy it, it's, you know, it doesn't mean that you're in any way disadvantaged and that you won't get a place. It's just that you were probably very stressed, and that's okay. That's fine. I wish I'd made more friends. I wish that there were still people. I mean, my boyfriend still talks to people that he met on his interview, and that's really nice because I feel like he'll have connections already before he goes down there in September, October, and I think I missed out on that. And so my advice to any of you would be to put that in that little bit of effort, because it might mean that you won't regret things later on when you've come back. But equally, if you don't feel like it, there is always time to make friends when you get there in October to start your degree, if you get the place. And that's really important to remember. It's not the be all and end all if you don't feel like you've made the most of the opportunity. And that's really it from me. I hope that all of you out there who are waiting on your decisions for a place or decisions for interview, I wish you all luck. And if you do have an offer for an interview, do not worry about it. If you get emotional, if you're feeling sad, it's completely normal. I've had crying fits after about it, I've had crying fits before it on the train. It's just a very strange experience, and I don't think that there is anything quite like it because of the whole staying over, being in the city. In a way is good because I saw so much of Oxford and really love the city, but it is also added pressure because you're there for a much longer time and you're away from your family, so there's no real outlet for you. Obviously you can phone home, you can talk to people, but there's not that direct, you know, there's no one to come and give you a hug and say, oh, it's okay, it probably went fine, or, you know, and so that's where it becomes a little bit harder to deal with. So that's about it from me, guys. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below. See you soon. Bye, guys.